Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 27th of May episode of my fantabulous live stream. I do hope you can hear me well. It looks like you can, judging by the little icon at the bottom of the live streaming this page. Um, Welcome to the Bevies, Blades, and Bushcraft live stream, where we have bevies, we have blades, and we do often, when the forces come together beautifully, discuss bushcraft or bushcraft adjacent subjects. If you are watching us, time shifted to tomorrow, next week, or next month, or whatever, please know that I massively appreciate you for hanging out with us at a time when you can't necessarily participate in the actual side chat that's going on over there and appearing up here. I've lost track. Um, Aside from that, if at any point tonight you absolutely adore what's going on, I invite you to leave me a smiley thumb. And if at any point tonight you kind of can't stand what's going on, that's all right. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you would like to take a more active role in keeping the light on around here, then I invite you to investigate the join button. You give it a little right click, you open it in a new tab, and there you can see the two tabs, the two tiers of membership that are open to you, as well as what each tier gets you for your hard earned money. I hope that wasn't too loud. I don't think we have something lined up for tonight in terms of subject, he said, finally getting around to checking his. Um, no, that's Monday, the 17th. Today, this is not Monday, the 19th. This is Tuesday. Uh, no, that was the 20th. It was favorite camp tools. Tonight, I don't have anything written down. When I was taking down a knife to show you guys, I was thinking maybe we would talk about this knife a little bit. I did a review of it, so, I mean, obviously, all of you guys have seen that review. Um, but there's a cool element to this knife that I haven't used yet, and I should have tried at least during my review, but, um, trying it means doing something that I'm very bad at, and so I didn't want to skew the review, and that's right there, this divot. What that's for is, making a fire drill. You know how you sort of put, a rock or a piece of wood that's got a little notch carved into it on top of the spindle, and you and it turns. Um, this is supposed to take the place of the rock or whatever you put on top, and so you just stick the top of your spindle into there, and you hold it, and mhm, you know, go back and forth until it lights. Um, I would really like to try that out this summer. I'd like to see if that's as good a feature as it seems to be. I'm just gonna mute my YouTube page. Um, do any of you guys have a knife with a spindle like that in the handle? And if you do, have you used it? Is it any good? 'Cause it seems like such a good feature, but this one seems really shallow. But I'm not sure if a spindle like, if, a divot in the wood or the rock or the knife or the whatever has to be that deep for it to work. I'm just thinking about how many people have been, like, holding on to the divot or whatever and going and it's sort of popped out. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second here. Sneezes. Um So yeah, sound off on that. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for you guys to sound off on that, or tell me what your favorite feature on a bushcraft slash homesteading slash around the cabin knife is. What do you really need to have on in order for a knife to really make the grade for you? And that can be need a spindle because I'm so good with them, or it could be, need to have all this extra pap around for sharpening, or could just be it's got to be a stainless blade. Let me know. So Peanut Trucker was number 1 at 7:11 PM, which was like 1 minute after I put this video up. Like, I put the placeholder up, "See me in 2 hours," kinda thing. Um, Excuse me. He's asking Country Boy, where is he? Country Boy's gonna be on around soon. Canadian popping in. These guys are all popping in way before we started. In fact, tonight I started late, as you guys may have noticed, because Canadian was number 2, by the way, at like 7:38. David popping in number 3 again. Now, I would like to point out that Peanut Trucker is a panel? Yeah, right. A channel mod. So be nice. Or you guys know, road hammering all over you. Canadian is a channel hero, and David Evans is both a channel mod and a channel hero. Mark Davidson popping in number 4. Number 4 is the hardest place to finish in any race because you weren't quite good enough to medal, but you were a whole lot better than everyone else in the race. It's the most heartbreaking of finishes. Mark Davidson, however, does get a medal, or at least a beautiful little icon next to his name, because he is a channel hero. Grace popping in, saying hi to everyone. Grace is also a channel hero at the moment. Nice to see you, Grace. Country Boy, whoops, is in the house, or at least he was at, what time? 9 o'clock. Apparently, he had a brutal commute today. I accidentally took the day off work today, which I will tell you about later. Everyone's saying hi to each other, so I'm going to skip past. There's Marcus in the house. Marcus is a channel hero as well, by the way. Geez, everyone is still so polite to each other. I love it. Mark is saying, did we do a time warp or something? No, I started late because I had to help Camille with prep for her English exam tomorrow. So I was like, tell you what, I'll start a half hour late. 9:30 is when you're supposed to be off your phone anyway. So, boom, 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 boom. Everyone's just saying hi and hi and hi. Country Boy forgot about the time zones. Let me tell you, time zones are important when there's someone sitting where you are and someone sitting all the way over here, because time zones can be a deciding factor for certain things. Destiny popping in, saying hi to everyone except, again, me. It's okay, Destiny. I bruise easily, but I heal fast. Destiny says, hopefully Kristen will be here tonight. I hope so too. It's always good when we've got the full-on crowd. David is saying hi to everyone in the universe, of course. The peeplets. I'm looking for any new names just to make sure I'm not skipping past anyone. No, it's just all the same people. Now, granted, at this point in the chat, the live stream hasn't even started yet. So these guys are just making sure everything is nice and bubbling for me to land in this beautiful froth of conversation. Peanut Trucker says something interesting. Our Mexican restaurant at home has got a new nacho plate, and it's out of this world. I made tostadas for supper tonight because I had leftover steak from my birthday supper last week. Saturday. I mean, my birthday was Wednesday, but I had my mother over for supper on Saturday, and we had steaks from the local very schmancy butcher. We had faux filet, which I think in English, someone here is going to check me on that, is a New York strip. They were delicious. Got to use our new barbecue. I will, you know what? I will pull up the page for my barbecue on the interwebs and show you guys what we got. Because I can smoke with this thing. I can smoke me some meat. I can do a 10-hour brisket. I don't think I showed you guys the barbecue last time, right? Vermont Castings. Outdoor heating? No. Fire pits? Oh man, I wish I could have a fire pit. Like not a propane one. I mean, I wish I could have an actual fire pit with wood or charcoals or something. Wood. Grills? Gas grills? No. Charcoal Kamado grills? Yes. Oh, they've only got one model of this. Am I gonna bore you guys if I show you what our new grill, our new barbecue is? Gotta do it. Just gotta freaking do it. I gotta mute for a second. Oh fuck, come on. Don't tell me what the Insta. Hold on. Ahem. So here's what we got. Um, I know it's Vermont Castings, but this is a Canadian website. I mean, that's the Canadian price. And Francais would not be an option on the American price. Um, so you can smoke stuff, you can barbecue, grill, bake, roast, sear, and char, all with the results of rich charcoal flavor. Um, it's got a huge damper here and a huge damper here, so that you can. Oh, it's just a closer picture. Now, ours came with this thing called the firebox was slightly twisted or something, so the two grills didn't sit perfectly level. So I pinged, and one of the brackets, one of these little brackets right here. Can you guys see my mouse? I think you can. Um, one of these little brackets that holds up the side shelf was misdrilled. So I called them and I got new parts. New parts arrived yesterday. So I will fix it up at some point soon. Easy to remove ash tray or whatever it's called. 400 square inches of primary cooking surface with heavy duty cast iron cooking grates. And these are not baffles. They're I don't remember what they're called. Does it say something about them? Anyways, I'm very jazzed about having a new barbecue because our last one just collapsed under the snow this past winter. It was rusting out for a couple of years, and it just went, you know what? Peace out, and it just collapsed. So we were like, summer's coming, and we ain't got a grill. But also, this is our first time spending more than like 120 or 160 bucks on a barbecue. So we're pretty jazzed about it. It's not a high end. I think it's not a $1,200 monster or anything like that, but it's a much better construction than anything we've had up until now. Um, Marcus says unto David, he just got in, built in a roadside stand from a trailer. It's been a few days worth of a project. A roadside stand for like, is she going to be selling some stuff, some fruits or something? We got Jim. So Audi, I'll see you in 10 or so. Must close up the plant for the night. Okay. See you soon. Destiny's going for nachos. It's not the same thing as tostadas, man. Peanut is asking Destiny, whose birthday is next? Jennifer's on June the 3rd. That's coming up pretty damn fast. Is Tina selling her rhubarb? Peanut Trucker knew the one about Jennifer's. Yeah. Rhubarb season. I need to get me some rhubarb so I can make a rhubarb syrup, so I can make a rhubarb cocktail. I don't remember exactly what we were going to do. I think, was it Christy or Shawnee who suggested rhubarb for a cocktail, but I don't remember what. I think it was Christy. Oh, Christy's here saying hi. How you doing? And by the way, hold on. Just So let me do a little scrolly make scroll so that I've got the two chats roughly equal. Did I mention that Destiny's a channel hero at the moment? I think I did. There we go. So yes, Christy is a channel hero, by the way. Warms the cockles in my heart to say that. Everyone's saying hi to Christy. Christy's saying hi back to everyone. Every damn one. Destiny says today's topic suggestions: how to react to difficult situations, like coming up on a bear unexpectedly, serious injury, how to signal for help. Are sat phones worth it? So, interestingly, I fell into the demotion zone in Duolingo. Guys, I have to shut this thing down and get back on this. Just kidding. I'll do it later tonight. This has a satellite phone function. Is it free? No. When you buy a new phone, it comes with a voucher that lasts about, I don't know, 3 or 6 months or something that you can try it out. But I mean, it's not a full-on sat phone. It's if there's an emergency and you're out in the bush away from cell um, access, you can go boop and use the sat phone functionality to call for help. Now, Apple has just signed a deal with whatever that Musk company's called, Starlink, to replace their old provider with Starlink, which makes me angry because I need everything Musk does to burn to the ground. But it does. At the end of the day, it's good to know that if the shift hits the fan and you're out in the bush away from cell signal, that you can still get help. And in a case like that, I don't care that it's not free. I want to get my ass home to my kids, But for like an actual satellite phone, that whole system, that whole setup still seems really expensive to me. Now I haven't looked at sat phones in a while. Just let me look up some best satellite phones by Roadpost Canada. Shall I share the screen? Shall I share the screen? I mean, we're not gonna, spend all night on this, but so I mean, this is just a whatever. This is what I'm just finding like that. But like 15.99 is not a lot compared to what I spent on my iPhone, but it's a hell of a lot for one of these satellite phones that doesn't come with like they're not smartphones that you use every day, right? Like there's a usage specific um element to these. Um okay, and it looks like these phones are using the Iridium um constellations. So, oh yeah, okay, there's an Iridium phone. Let me see. What does like can we get info about these? Like what the service costs? What the service costs? There we go. Rugged, reliable, who cares? I mean, they have a really old-fashioned look to them, but doesn't really matter, does it? Military grade durability. Stop telling me about military grade anything. There's way too much military in my family for military grade to mean anything other than sometimes works. Um, it doesn't say what like the monthly charges, but register your device. I just want to know, like, do they maybe not sell prepaid cards? What? So these guys work with Iridium and Inmarsat. So how much are the prepaid cards? Okay, monthly plans, satellite phone plans. So I guess Iridium Go is like a prepaid card. Iridium global monthly plans. Oh wow, it's as low as $90 a month. Oh, but at the end of this week, it increases to 102.50 a month, and that's for the 10 plan. So is 10 like 10 minutes or is that 10 gigs? I don't know. But all this to say that look, a satellite phone is not an extremely affordable option, but I could really see it being good to have one if you spend a lot of time way out or in the very center of New Brunswick. Susie Q, how are you? Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-ba. Nice to have Susie here. Destiny also says top 5 must-haves in off-grid cabins. We can talk about that too. I mean, we can talk about anything tonight because I didn't come up with anything. Country Boy says that number 1 must-have at any cabin, off-grid or otherwise, is beer. Fair enough. Peanut Trucker doing the God's good works, saying don't forget the thumbs up or bam. I said bam. Little Peanut Truck Roadhammer action. Hey, Tenenbaum is here. How are you doing? Late night, Mr. Night Owl. Mr. Night Owl. Is there a lot of sat phone use in Sweden, Tenenbaum? Like people hitting the trails or whatever and bringing a satellite phone, or is Sweden? I'm imagining that there's good cell service everywhere because Ericsson. But am I right about that, or is there a strange dependence on satellite phones in certain areas of Sweden? Peanut Trucker is stock full of zero sugar root beer. I do love me some root beer. I'm careful not to drink it too much. David is saying, "What's the subject tonight?" Whatevs. We're talking about satellite phones. I've asked a question about knives, but I have not yet gotten to the point in the conversation where anyone has actually answered that. Subjective realities, do they exist? Well, I feel they do. Destiny. Best vehicle for traveling through the bush or a trail like Russell's. ATV versus snowmobile. You said vehicle. The Land Cruiser, I believe, is now back in Canada. I'm sure I saw 2 this week. I've been meaning to go to the Toyota Canada site and see, but I'm sure because it looked like a big rugged vehicle that unfortunately does look like it's gone high end, which pisses me off about the Land Rover and the Jeep for that matter. But I didn't recognize it. It was clearly not a RAV4. It looked like the kind of thing you could bounce across Africa in, although now in more style than I think it should do. And I was like, that's got to be because I know that the Land Cruiser is coming back. They had taken it out of Canada for a long time because they were afraid it was going to cannibalize Highlander sales. Was there a forerunner yet at that point? I think it was because they were going to cannibalize Highlander sales. But yes, yes, it's there on the website, and it's exactly what I saw on the street. Oh my god! But it's so expensive. Schnickies. Well, starting at 56.7 in Canada. Hold on, let me share the screen because this is. I have a big thing about the kind of vehicles that that have crossed Africa. Um, I've always loved the Land Rover, always, but the Land Cruiser's been kinda cool as well. Um, and I've always wanted to see one, like, in the wild and kinda like, I hadn't seen one in God knows how long, but, um so starting at 56,700. So, I don't know. What do you think? Should we just build one? Oh, I like that color, and I like that color. That's boring. Whoa, what's with the lights? I like that color. I like that color. What's with the lights? I like that color. That's alright. Oof, I like that. Okay, let's build one. Um, no, dude, what are you asking me for a zip code for? Oh, Schnickers. So that's 57 blah, blah, blah American, so that's gonna be like a $7,800 car. Hold on. I went to toyota.ca. Why you gotta be like this? Don't you ruin my day. Okay, vehicles. Vehicules. New RAV4, still a great looking car. Don't you disappoint me, man. Don't you disappoint me. Highlander, Grand Highlander. There we go. Land Cruiser. So where's my starting price? This is boring. I know. I know. Please no, I don't care. 1958 or Cruiser. I don't know. Oh, wow, they're both hybrids. Like standard? Holy crap, though. They it starts at 73,300, 304 or 82. So this is probably the one with the fancy lights. Yeah, and this is the one with the round lights. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I can't even dream of that. Oh, it's so cool that they're both hybrids, though. But I wonder if there's like a plug-in option. Yeah, so this 1958 is the one with the round lights. Still pretty good looking, but Jesus, like that's an expensive starting price. Okay, so we don't get a whole lot of options for the drivetrain, it looks like, right? Because models and packages are both automatic. I have no problem with that. I don't drive standard. Um, yeah, okay. I don't know what the engine would be on that. Huh, Destiny. You're saucy asking me questions that make me think of this. I gotta win the lottery, people, because that sounds really hot to me. But I think actually what you're actually asking, um, I, a lot of ATVs you can put tracks on, right? It's expensive. I mean, it sure as hell ain't free. But oh, it's 10 o'clock. Did somebody remind me about the Hi, good Mike? How you doing? Let me go back to so like I think that just the fact that on so many ATVs you can put tracks on if the winters are too tough for those big ass tires, makes it better than a snowmobile. This was my birthday malt this year. Port Charlotte heavily peated single malt. Isla Barley 2013. I bought it a few years ago, and I was saving it. Well, I mean, it just hadn't come up in my review pile yet, but I forgot to buy a birthday malt, so I went downstairs and picked out something I was excited to try. Does anyone else have an opinion about Destiny's question, like ATV versus snowmobile versus horse and sleigh? Part of me loves that old school So yeah, hike with Mike in the house. Nice to see you, Mike. How you doing? Oh, so nice and peated. Hold on a second. Yeah. What? Find the what? No. I looked for them, but they're not down here. What? Maybe I'll look tomorrow. Absolutely not. No. No. We keep surprises in those closets, child. Sorry, folks. Where was I? Yes. I've been trying to ask Mike how the weather is down in Florida. It's finally sunny again and warm. It was like a high of 27 today. Very peated. Almost an iodine note, but not quite, which is good. It's sort of it's like I'm gonna go band-aid on you. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Fresh seaside note. Not too salty, but there's a marine element there. I'm getting like a rugged shoreline with seagrass growing. It's like 10 degrees out. It's not a hot day. Cool. Maybe a bit of cloud in the sky. Maybe it's slightly gray. There might be rain coming. It's also malty. There's a bready kind of biscuit element, kind of a green apple thing. Lemon rind, skin, like lemon peel with a little bit of lemon candy. Caramel vanilla from the American oak. And a dark fruit. Ashy. Like you put the fire out with water, and there's just a little bit of smoke coming from that ash. Definitely still got that cool day. The lemon element comes on stronger. A little touch of espresso right at the back. Very, very good. One of my favorite distilleries, but I can hardly afford their stuff anymore. David says, onto Peanut Trucker, good subject. We need pictures, though. Oh, the subject is nachos. He said, okay, I got it. I was like, what's going on? We got Serge in the house. That's fine. What are you eating tonight, Serge? Some of us have mentioned what our supper was tonight. I'm just scrolling. Tenenbaum, the bow drill notch. That's referring to what I asked about what's an important element on a knife for you, I think. I'm sure that's it, because I'm late. So you like the bow drill notch. Okay. I'm looking forward to trying the bow drill notch for sure. Destiny had to upgrade her snack from crackers and cheese to nachos. Peanut trucker twisted my arm. I kind of like crackers and cheese myself. I mean, I like nachos as well, but you believe they call that the bearing? Yes, I think you're right. I do think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm not great with remembering words, Tenenbaum has a few knives like that, but no bow drilling for me yet. Ferrocerium rod is as fancy as I get. If there isn't a big lighter or some matches handy. Um, you can also use a nacho chip to light a fire. No, a Dorito. I like the ferro rod. I'm not going to go into my whole flint and steel diatribe tonight. I'll give you guys a break to that on that. Hey, Charles and Annie in the house. What? Charles and Annie in the house tonight. How you guys doing? How's the weather treating you down there? Um, I'm just boom. Okay, Destiny had an ad. Has how many people had an ad? Hike with Mike is a Gerber knife brand guy. I have a Gerber. I used to have another Gerber. Mine is the LMF2, which I use as a workshop pry bar. It's solid, although the glass breaker pommel on it for some reason is starting to come loose just a little tiny bit. Don't know what's going on with that. Um, Solid knife. I bought it and the Bear Grylls Ultimate fine bladed knife accidentally at the same time. Um, Both are fine. I didn't love the Chinesium blade of the Bear Grylls, though the handle on it is still one of my the ergonomics of the handle on that Bear Grylls knife is still one of my favorites. I love the look of it because of the orange, because I drop stuff and I depend on orange to find stuff again. Um, but at the end of the day, they're both really survival knives, and you will find many YouTubers out there who are saying that the difference between a survival knife and a bushcraft knife is marketing. And I say that's a philosophy. Um, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into a survival knife. Well, my F1 is technically a survival knife, but it makes a brilliant bushcraft knife. But generally, when you look at sort of, big testosterone American style survival knives, right? They've got the serrated edge right where you would want a fine edge for carving. They got like big, like if you look at them straight on, they got these big, thick, kind of massive blade profiles and a lot of stuff that makes a knife great for sawing your way out of a burning helicopter, but lousy for a lot of the stuff that we do as bushcrafters in the woods, right? Carving, uh, carving. I know, like carving and chopping and stuff. Like because so many of these survival oriented knives have that serrated edge, and for Jesse to like a knife with the serration has to be up near the tip, not at the back of the blade. I think that putting serrations at the back of the blade, nope, that ain't gonna work for me. There's just too much that happens in that section of blade in a bushcraft or even just camping context, where serrations up at at the tip, like I don't, it's a no brainer for me because when I'm, like think of you're cutting open a box even. Just as an example, you're cutting open a box even. You're using the tip of that's where you need your serrations because that's where, you're holding down a piece of rope on a log and you're cutting. Very often you got the knife sort of angled down and you're cutting this way. Should you maybe hold the knife horizontal and across? Maybe, I don't know. But everyone I know doesn't. So putting the serrations at the back there just seems to be a low effort design choice. Survival knife. We need serrations. Okay, let's put them here at the back. And here's like the bushcraft community, like, please don't, please don't. Tenenbaum says stainless is important to me because I'm usually on the water. We've had this conversation before, both on lives um, and in Signal. So yeah, I know that. I would love to know if Swedish bushcraft is mostly stainless knives versus carbon steel. Because I don't think that Ontario is all stainless knives, but it's like Land O'Lakes up in there, and Quebec too, right? The entire Canadian Shield is just freckled with lakes. Um, but if you're living on in coastal BC or like in the Saguenay, where that part of the river of the St. Lawrence is so wide and so near the ocean that there's salt water coming up the Fjord de Saguenay. I kind of feel that in that kind of context, so let me get comfortable here. I kind of feel that in that kind of context, um, stainless becomes more important than if you're just surrounded by lakes. And Sweden isn't heavily coastal the way, say, Norway is, but there's still a bit of coast. And I also wonder if stainless deals with temperature variation better. You're out in the woods in January, it's minus whatever, and then you come into your beautiful canvas tent with a stove inside, and down there in there, sort of, it can hit like 20 degrees, and whenever you've got temperature variation like that, you get moisture, right? So I wonder if um, that also would help to move more stainless blades in a place like Sweden or like Canada. I don't know if most Canadian bushcraft guys prefer a stainless knife. I've always loved carbon steel, but I do have stainless knives because carbon is not perfect in all contexts. Oh, did I forget to actually put this on screen, Tenenbaum? Loo, 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 ba bam, bam. Uh, Sales isn't the line of being inappropriate. I do not know what you're referring to. Uh, Charles says the house has just been repainted. Heading out to purchase more large paint containers. Very hot and humid here. Finally had a little rain this morning. I hate hot and humid. Uh, Destiny says, so grateful for today's live. Normal people are so rare nowadays. I don't think they're that rare. I just think they're overshadowed by walking circuses. And I think that that's, oh, whatever. I'm not going to get into it because I'm going to get grumpy. To the Canadians, by the way, I hope you're all very excited that for the first time in my life, the actual head of state read the throne speech instead of the governor general. I'm very happy that the king was here. Very fairy tale ish. I mean, the king's already gone home, right? I mean, he was here for 2 days, which tells you that the king got more money than I do because there's no way I would fly from London to Ottawa for 2 days. It's unaffordable unless you're a head of state. Um, Country Boy says, "Are you really calling this group normal? Come on, everyone's moving right along." Uh, Destiny finally says hello to me. Thank you. Makes me funny. That makes me laugh. Um, Hold on. Hope the new Q is new news. I am lost, Mr. Bomb. Disney said, I know, Country Boy says your normal 45-minute commute was almost 2 hours. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Yeah, that's Destiny says I'd lose it. So I've had my post-work commute extend almost that long before as well. And what I and fairly often it'll hit like an hour and a half. And so what I had to do was just change my mindset on it. Okay, this is me time. I'm gonna listen to podcasts. I'm gonna, my headspace will be because I was getting so aggravated that I was afraid of just checking out with a heart attack on my way home from work one day. So Timo says versatile, nice. I'm so late on the chats that I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Christy loves her commute. She goes from upstairs to downstairs. Destiny got caught on the Deerfoot Trail in Calgary at time rush hour a few years ago. Deeply regret the almost 3 hour mistake. Yeah, I know the Deerfoot. In fact, I will be on the Deerfoot this Friday. Yes, we can see your mouse. Okay. That's what we're talking about. Yes. Yes. So that's what we were talking about. We were talking about the barbecue. I'm very, very jazzed about it, even though I have to replace two parts. Um, I mean, they sent me the parts, so I just have to stick them on. But as you guys saw, well, those of you who watched the barbecue build live stream, it, it wasn't the simplest barbecue I've ever put together. It's not too bad, but yeah, I'm very happy about it in Destiny. Look, to me, the barbecue I really want is the Kamado Joe, um, the mid-sized one, but that's like a $2,500 barbecue. I mean, yes, you can use it to smoke meat and stuff, but it's a lot of money. So this should get me most of the versatility and the usefulness, even if it doesn't look quite as cool, and it's not quite as heavy. The thing about those Kamado Joe are that it's got a ceramic interior. They weigh a freaking ton. I mean, ours does too, but not like that. But you can put like three coals in the bottom, light them, control your dampers, and do like a 10-hour brisket. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm aiming for. I want to do like a 10 or 11-hour brisket one day. Peanut Trucker had the longest commute. He left Pennsylvania Friday and delivered in Sacramento this morning. It was a good ride. That's a long ride. I mean, you're a long haul trucker, so I'm not surprised. But um, Christy says sometimes there's a traffic jam if Steve is coming back up and I'm going down. Tenenbaum says, I'm amazed you're allowed to have a smoker on the island of Montreal. Technically, I don't think I am. Like, technically, I believe that even barbecues have to be either gas or pellet. But I haven't had the cops show up yet. You'll never take my barbecue alive, copper. Dear Mounties, I'm kidding. Yeah, because like we're not allowed to have fire pits and stuff like that burn charcoal or wood either. So I'm pretty sure I'm not technically allowed to have shows burning barbecue, charcoal, or wood burning barbecue. Russell is in the house, like literally, he's puttering around his kitchen. That's fine. Yeah, Serge can have a recreational fire out where he lives. Damn it. Jim is now heading home, or at least he was at 9:40. Come on, 9:47. So, oh God, I'm so late. Okay, let me sort of scroll down. Well, it has a satellite messaging function, which is pretty awesome. Yes, so, like, when I'm, in the need, uh, don't be mean to Elon. I'm not gonna be mean to Elon. I mean, it's very hard living in a life where literally nobody around you likes you. I think that's enough. I'm not gonna pile on to him. Tim Bomb says, "If they really roll that out, they will put everyone else out of business, like, Spot, Garmin, InReach, and Zoleo." I you know, I think that every single market is better when you have, like, a half dozen guys all fighting for market share. That's when a market is at its best. As soon as companies start buying each other and you end up with, like, 1, 2, or maybe 3 at the pinnacle, the market just, you may as well just go back to smoke signals. So what's the difference between a sat phone and a personal locator beacon? Look, you can have a conversation on a sat phone, right? With a personal locator beacon, it's like beep, and I think you can send a couple of texts or something. I'm thinking about, I think, the Spot, or whichever's the one that Canoe Hound has. Um, Russell repaired his comfy pants with a needle and thread this evening. How vast is your sewing kit? I have a overlock machine. My sewing kit that I bring to the woods is very small. 2 needles, a little roll of thread. I think I have, like, some thread and some waxed thread for leather, and that's about it. My sinuses, man. Tenenbaum says, "Unto Destiny. A real satellite phone is like a cell phone that uses satellites. A personal locator beacon just emits a signal on a particular frequency." That's a much better description than I was giving. What I have on my iPhone is a satellite messenger, more like SMS via satellite. Yes, that's accurate. David says, "I just killed a mosquito. Damn thing was full of my blood." Ah, well, at least you got it. At least you. So what you do now is you pop it back and you get all that blood back. Come. Destiny asks, "So how do they find a person's personal locator beacon frequency?" I'm pretty sure Tenenbaum's got an answer coming up. He sure do. They have receivers that are tuned to that frequency and either triangulate the location or use coordinates that are encoded into the transmission. How many of you guys have, what the hell is it called? Is it called just 3 words? What 3 words? Nope, not gonna show that because that's my house. Hold on. Let me go to some other place. We will go to Montreal Parks. Click. So, this park in Montreal North, let me dim the screen a little bit because that's terrible. This park in Montreal North is at Snuggle Curve Potions. So, with what 3 words, what has happened is the entire world is a grid, and the 3 words tell you what square on the grid something is at. Snuggle, Curve, and Potions can only be that one location. I have this on my phone just because I wanted to play with it when I heard about it. Um, Montreal Parks. Yeah, but what's the name of that park? What's the name of that park? Damn it. Um, And so the idea is someone's like, "Where are you?" "I'm at Snuggles Stadium Teddy Bear," and they'll be able to like, "Poof, I know exactly where you are. Helicopter's on the way." I don't know if it's really all that widely used though, but it's such a brilliant idea. Um, Timo says, "Depends on the particular personal locator device or EPIRB. Don't know what that is, but in the simplest case, it's just a radio signal that indicates the transmitter needs help. It's a mayday, essentially." David says, "Sat phones are great if you're sailing across an ocean." That's kind of the only context I can really think about where it's like, yes. I'm not sure what else. Marcus says, "Speaking of satellite, how many have Sirius, and what are you paying a month?" I do not have Sirius. In fact, I excuse me, I never even took advantage of like the 3 month trial when we got our car or any of that. We have Apple Music. Many of our friends have um, whatever the other alternative is, and it's like, how many music service options do I need? I have yet to look for something on Apple Music that ain't there, right? I mean, I get that on Sirius they have shows and personalities. I don't care. Marcus has been paying $5 a month for years and now won't do it for less than 15. Fair enough. Yeah, prices go up for everything. I mean, some of my streaming services have advertisements on them now. I'm like, why am I paying you if you've got advertising? Almost none in the south cell service is perfect. In the north, there probably is some sat phone use. Okay, so much like here then. Destiny says top five must-haves in an off-grid cabin: one, beer, Scott; two, metal roof; three, solar; four, wood burning stove; five, wraparound deck, big windows. That's a pretty good list, Destiny. I would replace beer with whiskey though, and I would put it sort of down around five because I do love the idea of a metal roof and a wood burning stove and solar and a wraparound deck. It's a good top five list though. Tenenbaum has dropped a link to what is a personal locator beacon in the side chat. Destiny says, Cinderella eco toilet, propane, not electric, for the win. Fair enough. I don't think I've used that. Hike with Mike loves his Toyota Tacoma. For me, um, I'm thinking the Tacoma, I think, used to be sort of a mid-sized or like a more reasonable size, but I think nowadays it's quite large, isn't it? For me, I like a pickup to be the size they were in the 80s, right? Like I I like that new Ford, is it called the Maverick? Because it's a reasonably sized pickup. But like the F-150 is one of my all-time least favorite vehicles. Although that's context specific, right? I mean, if you're a guy or a woman who is always throwing tools in the back, or you're hauling camping gear a lot, yeah, or you do a lot of hunting, or you're a drywaller or something, that fine, great. But like, I'm related to people who just have it as a lifestyle truck, and like, man, a lift kit, and the type, and these are the type of guys who pull in front of a Prius and like smoke them out, kind of thing. Prius, I don't know. Um, but I'm a massive Toyota fan. Absolutely love Toyota. Um, I think they're practically unbeatable in many cases for many different things. Not for everything, but for many things. Part of me kinda likes that Jeep pickup, what's it called? The Gladiator? But I know that Jeep ain't really worth buying anymore in the exact same way as, Land Rover ain't worth buying anymore, and, like, those are my top 2 outdoorsy lifestyle vehicles. But I ain't gonna buy them because I can't afford the upkeep, you know? And I mean, for me to say I ain't buying a Land Rover hurts my soul. And they used to be so rock solid. You know, there's this statistic like 75% of all the Land Rovers ever made are still on the roads. That's probably not as true as it used to be because of the quality of Land Rovers now. But I used to dream of a Land Rover Defender, and I still really like the new one now that they've brought the Defender back. I think it's gorgeous. I love that weird cluster of lights, like the rear lights. I love that weird cluster of lights because I see that it's an homage to the cluster of lights that the really old ones had with the two little tiny lights on the sides. I just love it. If it was A, they had a plug-in hybrid version, and B, they were any good, I would be like, "I gotta sell a kidney." But it's just I don't wanna reward companies for putting out the car equivalent of buggy software, and that's what Land Rover does. That's what Jeep does. All of my favorite brands seem to except Toyota. They have issues for sure, but, um, the longevity is still just there. Shawnee, hello. You spent 3 hours in the garden today, and it was fantastic. I can well imagine. I would love to spend a full day in the garden. I still like my garden is completely dug up. We have to get some damn earth in there and plant some stuff. I'm getting a little antsy about it, which is funny because the whole thing is dug up because we had an ant problem. We're not really vehicle shopping, which is vehicle dreaming, I guess. I don't know where I put my whiskey. Oh, check out something I picked up this week. I'm trying to see. mm, I'm trying out more affordable bottles. I'm angry at where the price of whiskey has gone. So this is not too bad. This is a local. Um, mm, so it's called 6333 because it's 60. It's called 6733 because it is 67% malted barley and 33% rye. It's only 40% alcohol by volume though, so I'm not expecting much. But I've never tried it, and it's local. So I will try to get that into the video rotation sometime soon. Tenenbaum, they look you up based on the ID. Call your contact number on the premise that someone there knows generally where you are to make sure you are in the woods or at sea. Yeah, there's all kinds of. I was gonna say there's all kinds of um, system to it. Long's Quest doesn't like something. Oh, is this in that the new Land Cruiser? Is that what you're looking at? Hold on. I'm still looking at the Tacoma. I'm gonna go back. Key features. Where's the engine on this? Where's the goddamn engine? No, literally, where's the freaking engine, y'all? Y'all. Let's go to the summary. It's got an engine, right? That's dealer fees, blah, blah, blah. That's financing. Build details. Yeah, automatic trans. Yeah, but where is the actual engine info about the damn Land Cruiser? Compare models and packages. Okay. Land Cruiser premium package, $88,000.66. Holy schnitzel. What I'm looking for is, I mean, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm not in the position to spend this kind of money on a car. But I'm never buying another fully internal combustion engine vehicle again. So, I mean, the fact that this sexy a vehicle comes with a hybrid um, standard is kind of exciting to me. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm all like, I want a plug-in hybrid, or I want a hybrid because I'm afraid of, range anxiety. But you actually get better range out of a straight electric than you do out of a hybrid. In the F-150 that I used to go hunting with, you got all kinds of range because it had 2 gas tanks. But the money, holy crap, dude. Holy crap. Also, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You know, I work in tech. I see myself as a technologist. So I'm not going to spend my money on an engine technology that no matter how you tune it or whatever, it's still like a century old, right? It's still a century old. You're never going to get the torque out of a gas engine as you will out of an electric one for sure. Oh, I forgot. Hi, Skip. Skip, nice to see you. How you doing? Um, just hold on. I'm scrolling, scrolling right hard. Shut up, Jesse. Um, what time are we at? 22:39. Wow, the time really, really goes fast when you start a half hour late, doesn't it? Anyway, um, Christy is asking if Shawnee has a tomato pruning video. I meant to look today, but was swamped. I saw a tomato pruning video, but I think it was on TikTok yesterday or the day before. We're putting in one tomato plant this year because they just take over the whole damned garden. If we put in like, I'm planting 4. Tenenbaum says, what? But I don't remember what I said back at 10 o'clock. Why is everyone saying what? And then Peanut Trucker said, no, what the hell what did I say? Shawnee says, I only prune any branches on a tomato plant that are growing low below the first fruit. Don't want any leaves touching the soil. That's legit for sure. Destiny says, when I win the lottery, I'm buying a Sherp. Oh, a Sherp, yeah. Oh, are they called something else here? A fat truck? And then I'll drive it on a major highway just to be sassy. You go, girl. Oh, yeah, man. David started his veggie garden yesterday. That's cool. I like that. Green apple biscuits. Oh, that's my whiskey tasting. Country Boy is having an Elijah Craig small batch. Want to know why it smells and tastes like bourbon? Tastes like bourbon. Yeah, I used to have a bottle of that, and it's now finished. It was very good. Slightly peanutty, which is nice. Peanut Trucker says, Destiny, you're already sassy. That is true. That's absolutely true. Oh, longest quest. Escape is at 57 degrees Fahrenheit and rain. So 57 sounds like it's probably in the teens. Shawnee planted 63 peppers, 33 tomatoes, 100 cucumbers, nasturtiums, calendula, marigold, cilantro, dill, cowpeas, bush, beans, and he's hyssop, carrots, basil in one garden today. I have many more to plant. Holy snap. It sounds like you've got some anti pest plants in there as well, marigolds and such. David, just some tomatoes, lettuce, peppers, chives. Gonna add some carrots. So what we've done is we've dug out our garden completely because it's the soil is just way too much clay. We've never been able to get a successful carrot crop at all. And then we were gonna refill it all a few weeks ago, and just life got in the way. So we'll probably do it very soon. Very soon. Shawnee had some juice, pomegranate cranberry. Tenenbaum says, yes, you can call it the bearing block. Yeah. Serge also had the nachos. Fair enough. That's okay. Shawnee says, small plots are the best. Easy to plant and care for. Can always make it bigger slowly. Yeah, our plot is very small. When we're stuck, it's surrounded by like a stone wall. I used to have a nice lawn garden down the side of the garage, but now there's a pool there, and so it's a much smaller garden than it used to be. Shawnee had chicken parm with pesto pasta and a breadstick. Yes, I support that supper time choice. I think that sounds terrific. Peanut Turk had In-N-Out Burger tonight. I remember now that I have to order from the secret menu if I want to enjoy the In-N-Out experience. Back on track. I've lost everything. It just went. Tenenbaum says Falcon even is all stainless. Mora is almost all carbon steel. So 50-50. Yeah, those are two very Moras are everywhere, man. Absolutely everywhere. Tons in Phoenix. What was I saying? Tons in Phoenix are In-N-Out burgers. The king is above politics. What do we? Oh yeah, the head of state is in Canada is a cultural office, not a political one. I'm lost again. Oh, hey, Beto's here. How you doing? Ooh, we're at 11:15. Hold on, let me just start scrolling down, because I want to make sure that if anyone else has popped in, that I catch them and say hi. Serge was heading out. I haven't been sleeping well. I've been tired tonight all. If my timing is good, Jess will read this at 11:55. I'm over an hour earlier than that, Serge. So there. Yeah. Oh, it's gone right back to like an hour ago. Schnitzel. Let me scroll. Oh no, everything is jumped. Russell says, okay, disappointed to find out Snuggle Stadium Teddy Bear doesn't exist. Hoax. Sorry. You found a location with the 3 concrete fleshy dwellings, and now I'm happy again. Destiny says to Tenenbaum about subjective realities, I find it interesting that some people never have any paranormal experiences in the woods, whereas others always seem to experience weird things. I think that depends on how close you are to Appalachia. Fleshy, oh my, yeah, exactly. Um, Jim says a guy parked next to me this morning in an FJ. It looked like it was brand fresh off the lot. Well, I had heard that they were thinking of bringing back the FJ Cruiser, but I don't know if they actually did. And I no longer have. Oh yes, I do have the Toyota site still open. Um, yeah, like I don't know if they really did. There was like a rumor that they were thinking of re-releasing it. Hold on, let me take a look. Would that be under like SUVs and minivans, or would that be under trucks? Corolla Cross. What? Sienna, Grand Highlander, Highlander, 4Runner, Land Cruiser, Sequoia. Sequoia is a terrible name for a truck. I mean, I love the tree, but I drive a Sequoia. That tells me you're a grandfather. I've always kind of liked the FJ. I, I like the look of them. They got kind of a unique look. Um, Brand new, fresh off the dealer lot. Peanut Sugar says 3 or 4 to what? Looking for, I don't know, Peanut Sugar. Must have missed some while cooking. I don't know what the 3 or 4 refers to. Tenenbaum says, summary, it's a truck. I'm unsure what we were talking about. Destiny says, unto Country Boy, because I just, whatever. I bet you have nerves of steel, I respect. I'd crap my pants and run for the hills if anything weird happened in the woods. I'm not sure if you want to run for the hills if something weird's going on. As Mark Davidson says, the weirdest stuff happens in the hills. Don't run there. Fair enough. Yeah. Apparently, I have a short memory. Oh, Russell's out. Okay. Good night, Russell. I hope. No, I'm too late. You're already gone. Yeah, you've been gone for like 7 minutes. Everyone's saying good night to Russell. Country Boy says onto Destiny, Google cougar chirping. The videos don't do the sound justice, but in the middle of the night, it's loud when they're close. Interesting. Okay. I'll check that out too. Mark experienced his first cougar scream in South Dakota 2 weeks ago at night. That'll get your attention. Stop. Okay. Destiny says, I did not know that they did that. Well, now you do. Jim's scariest sound was a bobcat scream. Don't even. Raccoons fighting can make quite a racket too. Yes, that I know for sure. Christy says, I think the worst animal sound if you're alone would be a howler monkey, especially if you don't know the sound. I don't know the sound. But just going by the name of the animal, I think I'd be creeped all the way out by that sound. Peanut Trucker says 3 or 4 yawns, and you were looking under summary for what motor it had. Quote summary. It's a truck, right? Country Boy says unto Mark Davidson, a large cat scream is terrifying. The chirping is disturbing because it sounds big, but you don't know what it is. Truth. Absolute truth. Hey, I'm caught up. Holy snap, what the hell? It must have been the whiskey. Could have been the whiskey. Might have been the gin. Got him in the 246 pack. I don't know. Look at the mess I'm in. Peanut Trucker says, "Welcome to the bottom of the chat." Tenenbaum says, "You've reached the end of the internet." Off Grid Recon showing up and waving. How you doing, Off Grid? How's the weather tonight? Where are you right now? Generally, my head's like a football. I think I'm gonna die. I don't remember what the tools are in this little toolkit I said I would not have bought if I was not reviewing. Oh, okay. It's a 20 millimeter. Is this called a spoon bit? Tavernuk. Is that called a spoon bit or a spade bit? Why ain't you focusing, you fool? It's because my face is in the way. 20 millimeter. 20 millimeter. I'm sure it's very useful to have a drill bit in your bushcraft knife tool kit thing. I look, the most useful thing in this kit is going to be the two little honing rods, right? Because they fit into. You can take this plastic thing out, and it sets up as a. I just don't respect gadget value as much as I used to. You know, like having a little kit on my knife used to be the kind of thing that would excite me, but it doesn't anymore. Because I feel that the kits are never as good for your own needs. I mean, because we're all just beautiful snowflakes. We're all unique, okay? We all have. Oh, you know what I wanted to do tonight was I got this magazine, and there's a quiz, a Canada quiz at the back that I haven't looked at yet, and I was going to look at it with you guys and see if see if any of us fail or pass. But I didn't want to read the whole thing because I don't know how many questions it is. But anyways, maybe we'll do that next week when I'm back from Alberta. Um, hold on a second. Off Grid is in South Bend, Indiana this week. How is it there? See, that looks to me like Jim is giving us his coordinates in the what 3 words? Lock your doors. Spade bit. Or a paddle bit, apparently. Play it on here. Play what on here? Who you talking to? Off Grid has been to South Bend twice before, no issues. Not not as bad as Gary, but keep your eyes. I'm guessing that's a place. Everyone's just saying hi. Put what in your notes? What happened? Who said what? Play it again. What did I play? Chris says the comment I made before. Play it again. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up. The comment you made before was, "Hey, hi, Jim," and then, "Hey there." Before you said, "Play it here." Play it here. Hold on. Play it on here. Play it on here. Play it on here. Play it on here. I'm scrolling on back. Let's see if we can. Oh, a howler monkey sound. Howler monkey call? I don't know if I'm gonna get sound if while I share this screen. So we'll see if it works. Okay. Oh, I need to put my cans on. The frightening sounds of the howler monkeys. Oh, are you guys hearing this? They howl only for me. That's too bad because that is freaky as funk. Now, is that because hold on. Let's try that again. Tell me if you can hear it now. Um, okay. Well, I'm gonna have nightmares forever. I'm never gonna sleep again. Yeah, okay, so you guys are hearing it like, oof, nope. Though the term howler makes me like I thought it was gonna be like an actual howl. That's still pretty freaking creepy though. I'm not ever gonna wanna be sitting there in the dark and hear one of those things go off. Yeah, a little more grunty than howly for sure. Yeah. And they get louder and at night it would scare the crap out of you. I could be sitting there at noon all by myself in the woods and hear that and think, "Nope, I'm out. Nope, out." Yeah, not a big fan of that. Oh, wow, we got 1 minute left, so let me just, take a sip of my whiskey. I kinda feel like, I don't know, it's just weird, like, some of the animal sounds you hear at night sound kinda ghosty or kinda creepy, and the animals themselves are not trying to be, like, scary. That's just the way they live, but those, man, like, what the hell? Like, what's the evolutionary niche that a howler monkey fills in? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So weird. Country boy says, 1 minute, you were a half hour late. You got to stay a half hour late. No, can't do that. But maybe I'll stay a little late because it's 11 o'clock now. But what do you guys think? Should we stay like a little late, like 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, kind of thing? Listen to more howler monkeys. I don't know where I put my glasses. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Shift don't matter. Drink some water. This stream of consciousness moment brought to you by Jesse and his ADHD. I was a half hour late because of my daughter's exam tomorrow. I was being like a good dad and helping her with homework. I could really go for some cheese. What's the ABV on this? It's got to be like 50%. Oh, wow. It's exactly 50%. It's funny. I'm just a funny guy. I was listening to The Sun Rises. I'm sure it does. Go the hell to bed. Country Boy says, share the cougar chirping if you can find it. Okay, hold on. Let me blep. Cougar chirp. Cougar chirping noise. Okay, let me share the screen out. And we'll see what we got. I'm so glad that sharing using this tech lets you guys hear the sound, because with the desktop version of OBS, it just would not work. Remember? Do you remember? Peanut Trucker is out. He's up at 3 a.m. Gonna take a nap. All right, sleep well, mister. Tell me if you guys can hear this. That is not the sound I was expecting to come from a cougar. I mean, the cat, of course. What? Are you kidding me? Why do they chirp? What? Please tell me you guys heard that. That is kind of hilarious, actually. But like, I would absolutely think that was a bird sound if I heard that at night. And now I'm thinking, oh my God, it's not a bird, it's a cougar, and I'm going to die. Yeah, Chris. I should go to bed as well. There's a cougar scream. Okay, hold on. Let me take a look for it. Cougar scream sound. I don't believe it. Like you guys. The terrifying scream of a mountain lion. I believe.
If there's one sound that would make your heart rate skyrocket when walking through a forest, it's the searing scream of a mountain lion, interchangeably referred to as a puma, panther, or cougar. The mountain lion is a species of wild cat that lives
Stop talking. I
throughout
want to hear the
North and
damn
South
scream.
America. If there's one sound that would make your heart
Oh,
rate skyrocket when
you're not even gonna blame me that freaking sound, you jerk ass. Hmm. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be too close to that. 49 seconds. We can. Oh wow. Okay. That's not like a Blair Witch Project kind of sound at all. Jeez. No, I do not want to imagine that at all, actually. Nope. Yeah, that was crazy. So we're at 11:06, so we'll go until 11:10, and then I'm going to shut her down. Okay. Yeah, Mark, absolutely blood curdling for sure. Holy crap. Tea's a good drink. Yeah, Christy's like, Jesse's going to be lying in bed. wide awake hearing all those sounds. My dreams are going to be, to be honest, there are some weird gods that run around in my head anyway. So, with any luck, good medication will end that. I can't sleep. Cougar will eat me. The place where I've seen the most cougars was at Thursday's dance bar. I'm just going to stop there. I was about to. Nope. Shut up, Jess. No. Steve's like, no banjos? The banjo players were eaten by screaming cougars. Trying to remain hydrated. Tenenbaum says, very few cougars can play the banjo. It shocks me how the staying power you have during a live stream, considering the time difference, considering how soon you should be getting up. And they usually hide their talent. Boo-doo-doo-boo. Boo-doo-doo-boo-boo. Why is everyone saying what, by the way? Like, what was the, what did I do? What did I say what about? Country Boy says, I camp where these big kitties roam. I know it's like, so it's not as scary. They chirp. The chirp was one I didn't know until several years ago. And it bothered me more than the scream. Not the screen. What? Like, I wonder what the meaning of the chirp is. I'm assuming that the scream has got to be some kind of warning or something. But what does the chirp mean? There was a lot of what, but for like, what was I talking about? Oh, that wasn't my wife. That was Camille. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was Cody. For sure. Country Boy was going exactly where I was about to go about Thursday's bar, but I stopped. Thursdays is no longer there, incidentally, so I don't know where the Cougars roam now. All right, we're at 23:10 right now. I said I would go until 11:10 and then shut her down. So that's what I'm going to do because I need to get some sleep. So I'm in good shape at work tomorrow. So everybody, between now and next Tuesday, I don't think I have a subject for next Tuesday. So if anyone has any suggestions, you can hit me up either on the Discord, the Raspberry Rock Discord, or via my Facebook, the Rain Dance Bushcraft Facebook or Instagram. If there's anything you really want us to talk about next week, if not, I will try to come up with something. But for now, everybody, please. Oh, the scream is a mating thing. The chirp is just communication. Good to know. The magazine Destiny wrote it down. Okay. Between now and next week, everybody, please be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night, all.